Hi, I'm Eleni, for those who don't know me, or for those who do. I basically just wanted to sit down and start this new form of long form content, which is called Tea and Chat. Today I have a peppermint tea. I drink a lot of peppermint tea actually. I think I'm going to sit down like once a month and I'm going to chat about what I'm up to, what I've been doing, what's going on in my life, just to be a bit more authentic online. I feel like often it's very easy to put out this well, it's not easy because it's actually a lot of work, but I have this like feeling of need to put out this very polished version of myself. And I basically just want to show up more personally, show you who I am a bit more, talk about my interests, what I'm building with my life, what community I want to build. Summer's coming here now, which is exciting, and the pace of life is getting a bit faster. I've started doing some consultation work for a restaurant here in Cyprus, which is exciting. It's called Nima Project, and it's basically at the moment a concept store, and they've been building a restaurant, and we should be opening it in July. I'm working on the menu for that for a few months, and yeah, it's really cool. It's very basically like honouring Cypriot food, and it's very like Cypriot led. I've developed some really cool recipes for the place. Some recipes I've been, have been in my repertoire for years, and some are new ones. I've got this lemon ouzo sorbet on the menu that is amazing. Chef's kiss. June was actually supposed to be the month I was supposed to host my first week-long retreat. Just circumstances happened and I had to cancel, which was really sad, but I put my trust in the universe that like it just wasn't the time. Also, like, I've been hosting day retreats, which has been really good to sort of navigate a good balance of like how many recipes I should be teaching, like what the clients want to see, what they want to do, which has been really nice. Xenia has basically been a project of mine that I have been building and manifesting for the last 5 years. It was actually a dream that I had, and it kind of sounds crazy. I'm quite a spiritual person, and for those who I tell this to who aren't spiritual, they're like, that is a little bit crazy. For me, it was a really like spiritual experience. Years ago, I was basically like head chef. I was at the top of my career, and I didn't really know. I was working in London at the time, and I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing with my life. Like, as many people, like, have this moment where they're like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, I don't know who I am, or blah blah. And before I went to bed, I actually like started praying, and I was like, if there's a God, can you please just give me a sign about what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And that night I had the most vivid dream of like this beautiful place, like it could definitely tell it was in Greece, and like it had, like I could like feel the walls and like how like all the architecture was built, and there was this really really long table that kind of looked like the Last Supper vibes, and then it had like chopping boards all down it, and I could see that it was set out for a cooking class. And then like throughout this dream I had this word Xenia, Xenia, like whispered through the dream. Like it was quite breezy in the dream, and then I walked out to this courtyard, and there was an olive tree in the middle of the courtyard. And in Cyprus we have this, and in Greece as well, we have this tradition that around the churches we like on pieces of ribbon we like write prayers, and we like tie them to trees. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's really beautiful. But out the back in this courtyard in my dream, there was this beautiful olive tree that had linen in loads of different shades of neutrals, like blowing in the wind, and people had written like what they want to learn, like they've written like prayers that they had, like all like on the tree, and it was so beautiful. And when I woke up from this dream, I didn't know at the time what the word Xenia meant, and I immediately researched it because it was such a vivid dream that I don't dream vividly often, and I don't think I've ever had a dream this vivid. And I immediately researched what the word Xenia meant, and it's basically an ancient Greek dialect which means to show love through hospitality to those who are far from home. And that in itself was just a complete description of like what I'm supposed to do with my life. I know that it's my calling and my duty to build a community, to teach, to bring people back to Mother Nature, to show people the ancient way of nurturing and creating that sense of community is like really, really important to me. So yeah, that's when I started Xenia, but I feel like because I feel like it's such an important, such an important thing that I'm doing with my life. I feel the need to put out this extremely polished, perfect version of everything. And I don't know, I think something flipped in the last like couple of months where I was just like, you know what, I think that I need to just be more authentic. I think in general as a society we feel the need to strive for perfection way too much. There's so much beauty within the imperfections of life, and I've really come to appreciate that. So yeah, that's just me deciding to be a little bit more me. And this is also really scary for me to kind of sit in front of a camera, and I mean I know I do it all the time, but it's kind of like quite scary to put yourself out online, so please be kind. It's been a very slow winter for me. I don't know if anybody else has had this feeling that the winter was heavy. It was definitely heavy for me. I spent a lot of time travelling, which was really amazing. I love travelling so much, but I definitely felt that I was going through this internal winter as well. I don't know if anybody else experienced that, but there was definitely this space of disjointment is probably a good word to put it. I definitely like am leaning into this space of like my inner winter. I've definitely been accepting it and not trying to fight it, and practicing things that ground me has been really important. I think a lot of women go through this period in their like late 20s where they're finally shedding that last remnants of being a girl. And I think what that means is a lot of women are waking up and stepping into a space of who do I want to be, what do I believe in, how do I want others to perceive me, how do I want to perceive myself, how do I want to move forward with strength and power and confidence, which is a really hard thing to rewire when a lot of women are brought up in a society where we are seen as second-class citizens. We are seen as having to conform to a societal norm. And I think I've always been somebody who has not been fitting into a box. It's a great thing, but it also is kind of a blessing and a curse. As a woman, I feel like I'm stepping into a space of redefining who I am and who I want to be. And I think like everybody goes through different chapters and different eras of their life. I have been through so many, but I think that being so self-aware in a world that is so difficult to live in a way that I want to create a community of conscious consumption, of environmentalism, of sustainability, of female empowerment, and it's kind of hard to do when you're constantly bombarded with the very real and very sad news that we have been experiencing over the last few years of how completely fucked up the world is, really. But I'm still really pushing for that community, that peace, that beauty that I'm trying to build, because I think if there weren't people like me in the world who are trying to bring good, then there wouldn't be that space of hope, which I think is so important for everyone, really. Creates so much sanity. I think also like a reason for me wanting to create this like sit down, like me connecting with you, is because I also want to like find a way to reconnect with myself through this, with like keeping it as basically like a digital journal. I think of me being able to keep track of all the things that I do, because I do a lot of things. I'm constantly doing events. I'm hopefully coming to London and doing an event in August, so stay tuned for that if you're London bound. But yeah, I do so much, and sometimes it's really hard for me to stay grounded, because I'm always head in the clouds. And I think that this is going to be a really great way for me to ground myself and to connect with you. Thank you so much for joining me for Tea and Chats. It's been really nice to sit down and chat with you. I'm very much looking forward to catching up soon. Hope you have a lovely day.